Welcome to Invited Back. I'm Sabbath Kapahu, and we are in a deep dive mini-series based on the sessions at Stimulate Summit. We're going to continue the conversation about the session called Hope is a Rebellion with Tiffa Garza. I mentioned last time that I had the joy of reconnecting with her. I've known her since before she and Imua were married. I remember conversations that we used to have together in their early years of marriage, and I've seen her walk through this journey of 16 years of marriage as a musician, as a pastor, as a teacher, as a mother. And we talked all about how to establish patterns and rhythms of hope for the hard situations. Because we know, no matter where you are in your journey as a wife or a husband, if you're watching this, or if you're planning on being a wife or a husband, these are good conversations to start now. It's going to get hard. Relationships require so many skills. They require maturity. They require humility. They require tons of patience and communication and forgiveness. And those are things that can only develop within the specific circumstance. And we talked about different seasons that Tiffa and Imua have been through, seasons of intense grief and loss, seasons of intense hurt and outside things that are trying to kind of attack their marriage. And the reality of the day-to-day, how when we keep a tally of the things that we are upset about or our needs that aren't being met, but we forget or we choose not to communicate about them, then how is this other person that we get to live with, that we're sharing life with, ever supposed to know? She reminded us so powerfully that our husbands are not mind readers. And there's so much freedom when we come to that reality. Again, we're going to make some shirts because I just need to hear that every day. If I had a penny for every time I was reminded that my husband can't read my mind, I would be a rich woman right now. So tonight, we're going to talk about some of the resources. How can we build stamina, gain confidence, and be encouraged? What kind of skills can we continue to develop and practice? We need practice in order to grow. That's the bottom line. And relationships take tons of practice. And every day we get an opportunity to get better and better at this thing called life together, at this relationship called marriage, at the reality of what we've been called to do in our day-to-day lives. So I want to share this quote by Esther Perel, who is a relational psychologist that I really enjoy listening to and learning from. She said, "It takes two people to create a pattern, but only one to change it." So can we be that one to change the pattern in our marriages? It's not going to be easy. It's going to take community surrounding you. It's going to take humiliation through humility. And it's going to take a lot of extra effort to communicate what we're really thinking and what we're really feeling in a safe and honest way so that we can give ourselves a chance to grow and that we can give our spouse a chance to grow. I want to ask a few questions to us as a collective whole as we think about what hope as a rebellion means for our marriages. And Tiff and I talked about these things in our interview, and I shared a little bit about them in the last session, and this is just a review before we get into the resources. So questions for myself. I'm going to ask myself this, and you can ask yourself too. Have I expressed my needs that aren't being met? Or have I just given nonverbal cues and expected my spouse to pick up on it? That is me. I am a work in progress in this area. Doesn't my husband know after this long that when I look this way or I don't say anything or I respond nonverbally in another way, doesn't he know what I'm thinking? No, he doesn't know what you're thinking. Okay, what next step will I take to avoid exploding in anger before I can address a problem, okay? What next step will I take to avoid exploding in anger before I express that there's even a problem? How many times have we found ourselves just with this pent-up aggression and our spouse has been caught off guard because we've been holding on to it for a long time. We never communicated or expressed that this is a problem for us, and then all of a sudden it's too much. What am I going to do to avoid that for next time? Again, none of us is perfect. We're all on this journey together. So if this is like hitting you deep at home, there's so much solidarity. I am with you. Another question is, what tally marks am I silently keeping track of that I need to openly address? Tiffa talked to us about the reality that she would make a mental note. In fact, I think she said that she actually was literally making a tally board of the times that Emu didn't say I love you, or she would say it first. And the moment that she realized, again, he's not a mind reader. Again, even though she thinks he should know that she wants these things, if she hasn't expressed it, he's not going to know. So what tally marks am I silently keeping track of that I need to openly address? Another question, have I reached out to a transforming sisterhood for help when my marriage felt hopeless? We talked a lot about in that session what it takes, what it looks like, how it feels to be in a marriage that feels hopeless. And there is some real deep issues that I can't address in a video like this. And we couldn't even address in that session. I mean, there are so many situations that that a simple conversation can't begin to touch. But we do know there is power in a sisterhood of people that will surround you, or a brotherhood of people that will surround you when your marriage feels hopeless. There's no way we're going to get through that season of hopelessness without a transforming group of people to support us. Have we reached out? And the last question, are there areas that I'm not willing to share about in fear of humiliation? And this is a powerful question. And again, it speaks to the need for other people, because we can't share if we don't have somebody to share with. Are there areas I am not willing to share about for fear of humiliation? Again, this journey is not easy. No one's going to promise that marriage is a walk in the park. We're going to tell you right now and over again, there are moments that you will feel hopeless. There are seasons that you might feel hopeless. And there are just a myriad of things that we know, that we talk about, that we see, and there's a myriad of things that nobody talks about, that you might feel like nobody sees. And if this could be just the beginning of feeling seen and known, of reaching out to that transforming community when you feel like your marriage is hopeless, then we have done the hard work. It takes one step forward. So here are some resources that I wanted to share with you based on the conversation that Tiff and I had. There is a book called Marriage Triggers, Exchanging Spouses' Angry Reactions for Gentle Biblical Responses, and that is by Amber and Guy Leah. And I'm going to have the links to all of these resources below, so you can make sure to find the links, check them out. Another book is called The 4 Habits of Joy-Filled Marriages, How 15 Minutes a Day Will Help You Stay in Love. This is by Marcus Warner and Chris M. Corsi. Again, the link will be below. Another book by Chris Corsi is called The Joy Switch. How your brain's secret circuit affects your relationships and how you can activate it. There is so much happening in that nonverbal communication. There is so much happening as we learn to live with our spouse that could easily trigger something. And if we don't know how to return back to joy, if we don't know how our brain is working, what neuro pathways are being formed, well, then we're missing out on an opportunity to grow and build the relational skill. Now, I hesitated there because, there's so much to be learned about the neural pathways. And again, in a conversation like this, we can just barely touch the surface. But that's why these resources are here. At least we can dig into them and begin to have that conversation. There's a YouTube video out there by Chris Corsi at Thrive Today called Bulletproof Your Marriage. There's a conversation with couples who are sharing from real life experiences and how relational skills have helped them. And the link again is below. I mentioned Esther Perel earlier, and I'll link to her website. She has a bunch of different resources for couples. Again, so much there. So I'll just put the link below. Again, let's take a breath because I feel like that was a lot. But my heart is for us to be encouraged, to gain confidence, and to build stamina. I truly believe that if we take time to have the conversations about the things that matter most to us, then we can build stamina in our marriages for the long haul. And so that is why I'm recapping all the sessions at Stimulate Summit, going over the resources. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel to stay tuned, and please comment below. I want to continue the conversation with you. If you have questions, if you want to talk about the resources, I would love to do that with you. Until next time, aloha.